Good morning. Good morning. I always end up kind of looking at myself rather than looking at the camera, but I don't know. Just it's natural to kind of look at yourself, and that's an interesting point, actually. Um, Everything I say is interesting. You should listen to. If you look, and the reason I say that because it just pops into my mind I think it might have been an article, or it might be some writing by Robert Cialdini in Persuasion, his book Persuasion. But interestingly enough, we are very much attracted to looking at our own faces whenever we see them. And, just think about when you walk past a mirror, think about when you walk past a window, whatever, we always check ourselves out. And in particular, we do it on photos as well. And this is why it's important. If you're using visuals, if you're using um, stock photography or whatever, and it's front and center in any of your material, I would recommend testing it with people, putting people with their faces that can be seen in the imagery. Because you look at anything, when someone hands you a photo, well, these days they hand you your phone with a photo or send it to you. The first thing people tend to do is look for their own face, all right? And then they look at other people, and then they look at the surroundings and landscape, etc., etc. So when you are putting visuals and imagery in your communications, whether it's lead pages, whether it's click funnels, whether it's a landing page, whatever, try testing out an image that doesn't have people and an image with people. I think you'll find that images with people and images with faces has a stronger appeal, and people will stay on the page, people will look at it longer, and people will look at people's faces and look at images. So that just pops into mind, and that's why I keep on looking at myself rather than the camera. Now, I titled this a bit of a clickbait, and it says lead generation, outsource your leads and never have to do it again. What that also results in never having built a relationship with anybody. That's right. So guys, LinkedIn is a B2B media platform. You've got to get it out of your head. And I'm sure for those that have been in the group for a long time, and now that I'm at 80 something percent, what was it? 82%. Where's my gratitude? See, I even put it in my gratitude book, guys. This is why it's important to have a gratitude book. Michael, who doesn't believe successful people have gratitude books and brag books or journals. I disagree. Some of the absolutely most successful people I know all have some form. And what I'm seeing now is, sorry, I've just lost where am I? Here we go. 86.2% of you guys are active in my group. And I've already started to form relationships with many of you, which is really cool. I get a lot of personal messages sent to me on LinkedIn. In the group, and even on LinkedIn, guys, they're there. You guys go and find me on LinkedIn as well, which is awesome. But the point is, I've got my new Herman Miller chair back here in my home office. It's just bloody beautiful. If you haven't got Herman Miller, absolutely get Herman Miller. They are the best possible office furniture in the world. They are just so comfortable. I've had this girl. Let's have a look at that. I've had this girl. I mean, this is one of the older, original ones. I've had this one since 2004. No, sorry, 2002. 2002. So 16 years, one chair. They're $1,000. It's lasted, 16 years almost. It's bloody awesome. It's like sitting on the cloud. It's so good. Anyway, my point is, LinkedIn is a B2B media platform. Get it out of your mind that it's a CV holding site and that, it can only be used for getting a job. I mean, we know that because you guys are here, because you're entrepreneurs, that it's a sales funnel. It's a B2B sales funnel. And you can create your sales funnel on LinkedIn and absolutely slay. You can absolutely slay it, because many of you that I speak to, your clients are all sitting there. right? The profile of your ideal client are all there, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of them, millions of them, and they are there for learning. They are there to showcase themselves, and they put a hell of a lot of data there, which is awesome. Any of you guys, entrepreneurs that are now in the selling mode, because unless you're actually selling your product or service, no one's going to see it. Yeah, you might be marketing it, but if you have anything of value, if your price points are in the multi-thousands, you're going to have to end up selling it to someone. You're going to have to pick up that call. You're going to have to go to that face-to-face meeting. And that's the thing. LinkedIn, you should not be outsourcing your leads unless you've got some kind of, low-end product. Sure, okay, you don't want to spend time, and it's more of a B2C kind of situation. Okay, pay some outsource company to dig up some names for you and market to them and get the standard ratio of 1% opening. But I tell you what, when you go into LinkedIn with strategies, absolute clear strategies, you will get great results on kind of opt-ins and in discussions with people. One of my students yesterday, one of my coaching students, he sells telecom, so he sells phone systems. And he was just writing yesterday that he's got too many leads to manage from my strategies. And they're free strategies because it's B2B one-on-one relationship building. Now he's getting opt-ins into his connections at 40%. Right? So when he sends out these connection strategies now for a certain, and you'll probably say, oh, well, actually everyone accepts mine. Bullshit. I don't believe you. If you are doing certainly when you're doing kind of mass activity, and you're trying to build your network quickly, it's very, very rare when the reality actually comes down to it and you look at your numbers that you see percentages. Most people are quite low. So this, one of my students yesterday we have a private Facebook group. So this is the public one. You guys are in the LinkedIn Sales Funnels for Entrepreneurs, but there's actually a master coaching group as well. You didn't know that, did you? But that's what happens when you get my coaching. And in that group, he was just discussing that he got a 40% connection rate, which has led to a multitude of conversations and opportunities and discussions and podcasts. It just goes on. And this is the momentum you build and build and build and build. And this is the thing. You only get that type of activity, that type of engagement by you doing your own relationship building. And I don't understand why people want to outsource that part of the job. I mean, we talk about working in our business and on our business, and I understand the difference. I don't want to be caught up in the weeds. But for me, the most important part of my business is that communication with my potential customer or my customer. Or my client, whatever it may be. I've got multiple businesses, but if you are not doing that, you're really missing out. You're absolutely missing out. Yes, and I understand the concept of one to many. Now, one to many, that can be the top of your funnel. Yes, you can reach out to many, many people. You don't have to do individual, and it takes ages. There's automation tools, etc. However, when it comes down to that engagement, those first engagements and those discussions, you're just missing out if you're not doing it yourself on LinkedIn, because it's a recipe. Your profile itself, that is you. That is your brand. The profile is showing the world of LinkedIn. And even if someone does a Google search, LinkedIn will rank you, right? It needs to run with that. But if you want to sell your business, it needs to run without you. If you don't even have a business to start with, Kate, you're never going to sell anything. Yeah. And what we're talking about is, as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, when you're starting your business and you are selling like high ticket items, or you're selling you can train people how to do this. It's a system. So if you're a solopreneur, no one's going to buy your business anyway. Right? So it's kind of pointless. No one's going to buy it anyway. A business is going to be bought yes, when you have staff, you have a team, and you have systems, and you have processes. And if everyone is doing that as a standard process inside your company to generate leads, then you can teach that. And then, yes, you can sell your company to someone. Doesn't necessarily have to have you doing it. But what I'm saying is, as business owners, yes, you should get all your people using it correctly. And there's parts and functions inside LinkedIn where a team can leverage off with each other. Sales Navigator has a team function where you can lend and lean on each other's connections, and you can actually introduce people to each other through your own team. So that's possible. And as people plug into your company, they plug into that system. So so when talking about selling your business, I mean, of course you've got to have systems. But what I'm talking about, your lead generation. Once you have that down pat and you have your people understanding how to do it, and everyone, this is the difference between social selling and just selling, that every employee, if you have a company with employees, every employee, if they spend an hour on LinkedIn with strategic plans, strategic methodology to follow, and everyone does it, I can't even explain how busy you would be with leads. It would be absolutely insane. It would be non-stop for everybody. And, that's probably something you should consider if you have multiple people in your firm, is that everyone should be conducting a part of your LinkedIn strategy. There's no reason why you can't have them doing that. 1 hour a day to produce leads. Leads feeds the machine. That's how it goes. So for you as an individual, as a solopreneur, entrepreneur, and you're looking at how do I get these leads, don't outsource it. Do it yourself. That part of it. Do that communication and engagement with people. Generally, if you're not good at doing business development, if you're not good at doing sales, well, social media is a great place for you to get good at it. Because people are like, well, I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at, engaging them and making them. That's selling. That is the new sale, guys. The old paradigm of the salesperson that was hardcore, that was pressing the sale and was going after it all the time and at all costs and did all these little tricks and that. There's no trickery. There's no trickery in sales anymore. Not for the professional. For the scumbag, there's trickery. For the professional, for the social seller, for people who are selling made social, it's done in a way where people are seeing you as an advocate. They are seeing you in that doctor frame. They are seeing you as someone that has, is truly listening to them and understanding what they want. And then, being realistic, like, if I can help you, great, here's a solution. Would you like to know how I solve this for other people? And that's the conversation. That's the modern sale. That's how sales are done today. With the best salespeople I ever see in the world, that's how they're doing it. They're not going in there with this hard sell. They're not going in there with these tricky one-liners and things like that. Excuse me. Certainly, there's syntax that you can use that can help guide and help people come to a realization about their problems that they have and their need to solve it. But social selling, if you don't think you're a salesperson and you're an entrepreneur or a business development person, you're in trouble. You're selling, but you can use your rapport building skills. You can use your ability to make people feel at ease. And when they feel at ease and when they have rapport with you, they will tell you the truth about their problems. And that's what, the core matter is. It's like finding out what your customers' key problems are, what they, what's keeping them up at night, what are they worrying about? And if your product or service fills that gap or solves that problem, it's a no-brainer. It's a setup, right? It's like, yeah, well, you have this problem and I can fix that for you. Now, of course, depending on your price point, you're going to evoke all this fear. People, it takes no energy to stay in your current state. It takes no energy for a consumer or a customer to just like, it's not that bad, so I'm just going to do nothing. And I see it all the time. I do breakthrough calls with people. We look at their LinkedIn strategy, and I can see their problem. I can see it absolutely clear as a bell. Like it is glaringly obvious what is wrong with their strategy. And I know I can fix it 100%. Absolute confidence. I've used LinkedIn for thousands and thousands of hours. I've been on it for 13 years. I've made multi-millions off LinkedIn without spending a cent on advertising, by the way, on LinkedIn. So I know what can be done for multiple businesses because I've seen it over and over again. And even when I know that and I show them that, their fear is what's preventing them from going to that extra step. They are this close to success. They don't know it. They're this close to success on LinkedIn, and they just don't take that extra step. And it's so frustrating. So even, as you get better and better in your discussions and in your sales, when you're talking with people, you're still going to have resistance. You're still going to have objections. All those will still all be there. When you are doing your presentations, when you're doing your sales, when you're doing your discoveries. But on LinkedIn, certainly on LinkedIn, when you are starting off in your business, or even you've been doing your business for some time, don't outsource. Don't outsource your lead gen on LinkedIn. Get some firm to pull out names for you and provide you a list. I mean, you can do it yourself. If that's all you want, you can just get an automation tool. It's like $15 a month. And every day you can just download 500 people. I mean, okay, great. And then you give it off to a VA and say, hey, go find me the emails. That's doable, right? And then you send out your email, and then you get your 10%, 20%. Maybe if you're absolutely awesome at writing emails, you get 30% open rate. And then you get your 1% click through, and woohoo, you're so happy because you got 1%. Whereas if you do it right on LinkedIn, you're getting 40, 50, 60, 70%, 80% connections and messaging, right? You're getting people in your messaging. So I highly recommend, guys, that you start to put in strategies where you control those relationships. You control the relationship building, and you will get so much more out of it. And yes, if you want to sell your business in the future, as I said, no one's really don't buy solopreneur operations usually, unless it's some kind of e-com site or something like that. But if you've got staff, start training your staff as well to use LinkedIn in a way that just amplifies your business into the market. So that's my point today. I know it's a bit of a clickbait. Bad luck. It's my group. But I love you all, and I hope that works. And just on just a side note, when you are making bookings with anyone, so certainly if you watch someone's webinar, and this is just as someone who runs a webinar and does this himself, it's really frustrating if you book something and you don't show up. Just cancel it. Don't just not answer the call or hang up the phone or something like that. I see it all the time. It's just you're like, come on, grow up, grow a pair, grow some ovaries, grow some gonads. Just be respectful of everyone's time. Karma comes back. So just a point just for yourself. Be respectful of everyone's time, and you'll do well. People will respect your time. So anyway, that's me for the morning. I've got a ton of work to do today, and I've got some breakthrough calls. I have started to increase my availability to do breakthrough calls for people that are looking and have decided that LinkedIn is the place for them. So if you haven't seen my masterclass, I'm happy to kind of send you a link. But I only want to speak to people that are absolutely in the point where they've decided that LinkedIn is the place for them and their business, and they have to crack it now, because over the next couple of years, we are going to see more awareness of it as a B2B media platform. More of your competition are going to jump in, and if they get in front of you and solidify their positions on LinkedIn, you're going to have a hard time competing with them and taking that top spot. So there you go. Have a good day, everybody. Evening, morning, night, wherever you may be on this fine blue planet of ours. So see you later. Bye-bye.